So it is time for something rather new, as whilst the main focus of the channel has always been Hearts of Iron 4 and Stellaris, something new has caught my eye. Whilst the normal Hearts of Iron 4 videos will return soon, today we'll be looking at a mystery in Surviving Mars. Surviving Mars is set to release very soon, and the game effectively has you play the role of a colony manager, building the foundations of a future civilizations using humans or robots. The game is shaping up to be something very exciting, and I would recommend everyone takes a look at the game. Anyway, as a huge sci-fi enthusiast, I've taken an interest into one of the mid to late game mechanics. These are called the mysteries. At the moment there are quite a few mysteries, however only one has really piqued my attention: the creepy black cubes. Whilst on Mars you'll discover many anomalies that can lead to very exciting events. These events could be the discovery of a new technology or the accidental creation of a dust storm. However, this is a mystery anomaly. Now it all begins with the arrival of a strange looking black cube. This cube is behaving very strangely because it is floating off of the ground and ignoring the standard laws of physics. The cube itself is also resilient to all signals that you attempt to shoot at it. The cube is pitch black, and after scanning it, it is decided that the cube is a non-natural occurrence. The cube itself is also perfectly symmetrical and maintains a constant movement that cannot be interrupted. The only thing the cube is giving away at the start is that it emits a type of radiation of an unknown wavelength. Who knows what this signal might cause? Whilst testing the cube, strange appearances begin. More and more cubes begin to materialize on the outskirts of your colony, all of them behaving in the same way as the first cube. With more cubes arriving and no way to deal with them, it is proposed that the cubes are broken down by bombarding them with high energy ions. The result of this bombardment causes the cube to lose its floating structure and instead convert into several more smaller dormant cubes. With these dormant cubes you can either destroy them or you can just store them. Soon after, the mystery of the black cubes is spread all around the colony. The reaction of the colonists is all very different. The colonists then split themselves into factions, each with an idea on how to deal with the cube. There are three main factions in the colony. The first are the skeptics, who believe that the truth about the cubes is not within our reach just yet, so we must store and protect them for further research in the future. However, the pessimists are calling for the destruction of all cubes, stating that they are a threat to the colony, as they keep multiplying just simply out of nowhere. Then the final faction believes that the cubes are a gift to humanity by some kind of unknown entity. This faction wants the cubes to be placed into the dome to be enjoyed and seen by everyone. Of course, the pessimists argue that we moving the cubes into our homes is a security risk. A few days later, it is noted that the cubes are increasing in number exponentially. They just seem to appear out of thin air, and whilst they have not shown any hostility, there is still a risk that this might change. For the moment, it is decided not to tell the colonists about the sudden increase in cubes. In the meantime, some colonists have begun constructing memorials out of the cubes that are left inside the domes. The following day, it is no longer possible to hide the truth from the colony, as hundreds more cubes start appearing near the colony. A rumour sets in, caused mostly by the skeptics, asking what if they're bombs, or hostile robots, or even alien eggs. The other factions say that they are likely part of a larger whole that needs to be put together. So with more and more cubes arriving in our colony, and the fear of what they might actually be growing, how can we deal with them? Then, a few days later, disaster strikes the colony. A harmless cube appears once more out of thin air. However, this time it is closer to the colony than ever before. This time it materializes on top of a concrete extractor and consequently destroys it. With a threat to human life now existing with the appearance of more cubes, it becomes a race against time to study what caused it to appear. After studying the event, it appears that a cube materialized inside the extractor and theoretically could appear and destroy any structure at all. The threat of the cubes destroying the oxygen supply is a great risk, and so a solution must be found. After days of study, the scientists discover that cubes have a set system of how they materialize. They use radiation to detect how dense a structure is before they appear. This is to stop the cubes from appearing inside Martian rock or underground. So because the structures of the colony are less dense than the rocks on Mars, the cubes are able to appear inside them. so a system has been created to protect the buildings by using a sensor tower to disguise the density of the structures, forcing the cubes to appear elsewhere. With this discovery, vast quantities of sensor towers are built all over the colonies, just to protect the vital structures. Then, it begins. The countdown starts. Within the space of an hour, all of the cubes start emitting light pulses, sending waves of panic and unknown signals across the colony. To make things worse, it appears that the cubes are hacking the drone uplink, causing issues for all of the drones in the colony. Reports across the colony come in say that the lights are pulsing towards something, maybe a countdown. As the countdown gets closer, we lose more and more control over our drones. What is this countdown counting down to? Who knows, but you have only 48 hours to prepare for the event. In this time, more and more cubes appear, and the colonists demand action. With only 24 hours remaining on the countdown, some colonists call for the immediate destruction of all cubes, whilst others insist that we must study them in the remaining time we have left. However, on my colony, the number of people worshipping the cube monuments had grown massively. This meant it would be impossible to destroy the cubes. Perhaps the cubes are not only controlling the drones, but also controlling the colonists. And then, the final hour. It begins. Huge amounts of drones go rogue and begin carrying cubes to a specific location on the colony. It seems that the cubes are being used to construct a massive, strange structure. Any attempts to stop the drones has proved impossible, so whilst a giant death dome is getting constructed, at least look on the bright side that the drones are not attacking us. Well, yet. With the cube structure getting built, a group of colonists called the Cult of Tomorrow begin constructing their own cube monuments and worshipping them. To forbid them of this would be almost impossible, and so Mission Control has to allow this very strange form of worship. And then, the structure was completed. This huge black dome was built, and it admitted something. A message that played out like a dream in the minds of everyone. The visions went on like this. Eons ago, whilst Earth was still a molten world, Mars had already been a teeming living world covered by oceans and forests. This long-forgotten Mars was the home for a sentient race, which quickly mastered themselves and reached technological peaks far beyond humankind. We witnessed the astonishing evolution of these ancients and the countless challenges that they experienced and changes they made, until finally they reached a state of existence that allowed them to transcend the boundaries of their material form. Without worrying about resources or lifespan, they set off and travelled the universe, leaving their home behind. However, they never forgot about their home. The robust black cubes lay in wait on the red planet for a meeting of the minds. Our actions of colonising the planet were detected by the semi-sentient algorithm of the cubes, and triggered the message left behind by the ancients. The cubes themselves were nothing more than tools to transmit a message, and the ancients then judged the colony. In my personal colony, we built huge cube monuments and worshipped them. This resulted in the ancients being intrigued and surprised by the choices we made to make art out of the cubes. With no idea of the concept of high powers, they saw no reason other than the pursuit of decoration to be the reason for all these monuments. Whilst they were not sure what to make of this, they expressed a wish that our species continue to remain as creative as possible. As a result of this, they grant us with the technology of localized terraforming. Now, I'm sure there might be a different response for different actions. If you perhaps destroy the cubes, the ancients might be hostile. If you maybe study the cubes, they might grant you more technology. However, I'm unable to comment. But I can strongly recommend that you give this mystery a go yourself. Anyway, so it turns out the cubes were just messengers of an alien civilization from really long ago. It is fun to think that they might want to speak to us after we showed some progress. Anyway, if you have enjoyed this video explaining the cube mystery and want some more Surviving Mars related videos, then make sure to give the video a like and tell me in the comments what you want to see next. Feel free to go mad and talk about how you would deal with the very slow cube invasion. I mean, they are pretty scary. Anyway, see you all in the next one.
Legends never die when the world is calling you. Can you hear them screaming out your name? Legends never die, they become a part of you. Every time